So, as you all know, Modern Warfare Zombies has a huge arsenal of weapons, some good, some bad, and some meta. But what are these meta weapons, you may be wondering? Well, in today's video, I want to give my top 7 weapons to use in zombies, and keep in mind that these are my go-to guns and loadouts, and if by any chance you use something else that works, well, that is totally fine. The weapons I'm about to show you are categorized based on their capability to kill both HVTs and hordes. And before we start this, make sure to drop a like to help with the algorithm, subscribe for more content, and let me know down below what other guns do you use. Without any further ado, let's do this. On number 7, I will start with something controversial, and a lot of you won't really agree with this, but it's the Wunderwaffe. I know it's a wonder weapon, but this thing is actually insane, and it's easily the best weapon to take out hordes of zombies in any zone. And the best part about this weapon is that you really don't need to pack it just more than once. Anything above that is just overkill. But if you pack it to 3 by any chance if you have the money, it can be great against HVTs also. This weapon for me will always have a special place because doing the escort contract in tier 3 on in the dark ether becomes a lot easier. For the loadout, there is nothing that I can show you because it doesn't have any attachments, but if you find this weapon, just pack it once and go to town. This will melt any horde of zombies you throw at it, so no matter how many zombies are close up together, just shoot once at the ground next to them and everybody will just die. As I said, pack 1 will do the job, but pack 2 and 3 can really help with HVTs as well. But keep in mind that this is a very rare weapon and the cooldown for the schematic is actually quite insane, so I would highly advise you guys to use this only when going for like really hard missions or in the dark ether. Next up on number 6 we have the Bas-B battle rifle, and before everybody starts complaining, I know that it got a nerf, but in Zombies Pack 3 and Epic Rarity it absolutely melts any zombies and HVT, especially if you use Deadshot. The loadout I like running, it's on the screen right now. This is made for mobility and ADS, and for the mag capacity I feel it's personal preference, but I just love the faster reload on the 30 round one. Also, this is my kinda go-to weapon when going for the red worm, as the damage is fantastic and can really kill that sucker super fast alongside with the zombies around him. This weapon is not overpowered in any way, it's just a really great overall weapon and I highly recommend you guys use this. And probably one of the best parts about this weapon is the headshot damage, and this is what I mean with using Deadshot, because that it's gonna increase that damage even more. And it's gonna make zombies in tier 3 and in dark ether go down, I think in 2 hits with the headshot, so that is pretty good. Next up on number 5 we have the WSP Swarm Akimbo. This SMG in Akimbo is fantastic and can really hold its own against anything. The loadout I like running it on the screen right now. Again, this is made for movement and hipfire, as you can really tell because you cannot ADS, but keep in mind that using only one can really be great as well because you have better damage and fire rate, but I prefer Akimbo because, well, you get 400 rounds to shoot, and let me tell you, this thing is awesome against both zombies and HVTs, and even against the red worm. A lot of people just use this as the firepower is just awesome. And what I love to do with this weapon when there's a lot of zombies around me, I shoot one and reload when shooting the other. In that way you never run out of ammo and you can just take out everyone. Again, I highly recommend you use this gun with PAP 3 and Epic Rarity against any threat you go in, but if you go for the red worm, of course legendary tool is absolutely necessary, but this thing will melt anything you throw at it. Next up on number 4 we have the Renetti Akimbo pistol. This burst pistol is an absolute monster in the high threat zone, as the fire rate and damage is crazy good, and in Akimbo can melt any mega or elite you throw at it in no time. The loadout I like running it's on the screen right now, and once again hipfire and mobility will be the king. I heard that the conversion kit is also great as it turns this into an SMG, but from what I've seen you cannot put this in Akimbo, so for me the loadout on the screen works just fine. Zombies will go down in no time, but keep an eye on the ammo as you burn through it very fast, and also the range is not the greatest, at least it's not as good as the WSP Swarm, but the damage is way higher and the fire rate is also way better. Again, using this weapon with PAP 3 and Epic Rarity will do the job, but I will definitely not go against the red worm with this, as the range is not your best ally in here. Anything else you throw at it, it will have absolutely no problem doing the job, so using this in tier 3 or in the higher threat zones like the dark ether or the elder one will just be a great choice. Now on to the top 3 weapons in Modern Warfare Zombies, and on the 3rd place we have the tier Akimbo with snake shots. Shocking, right? Why is this not on the 1st place? Well, I absolutely love this weapon, it's definitely the king for taking out HVT as the damage is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, you can take a mega abomination out in 6 shots if you hit the critical spots, but against hordes this just doesn't have the ammo and the range for it, so it's a bit more limited than the other guns, I'll say. The loadout I like running it's on on the screen right now, and I want to be completely honest, for taking out bosses, this is straight up the best weapon in the game. Like, there's nothing in Modern Warfare Zombies that will do as much damage as this does from up close, but against everything else it lacks a bit, especially because the range is not that great, so if you encounter a big horde of zombies you will have to dance a bit to survive. And also the reload is not the friendliest, it definitely takes a while, so I would love that if you pack a punch this weapon to have a bit more ammo, but again I think if they do that, this weapon would be just a bit too overpowered in my opinion. So as it is right now, it's kind of balanced, but it only has kind of one use. Of course, if you have great mobility and so on, you can definitely take out hordes of zombies with this as well. And from my experience, this is also great against the red worm. It does pretty decent damage, but you do have to be up close, as I said. And this thing also received a conversion kit that basically turns it into a sniper, but you can only use one. That thing again does insane damage at really long range, but you only have one weapon with 5 bullets, so I will stick with the Akimbo snake shots. This PAP 2 and purple rarity will do the job against any HVT or zombie in the game, but again, if you can PAP it to 3, it will be absolutely fantastic. Next up on number 2 we have the mighty Lockwood. This has to be the most satisfying weapon to use. This shotgun with slug rounds absolutely destroys bosses and hordes, has a bigger range and a bigger mag than the tier, and it's also just so damn cool. The loadout I like running, it's on the screen right now, and I highly advise you guys use this no matter the boss or mission you go against. PAP 3 and epic rarity will just ruin everything in its path, and it's just the most satisfying weapon to use. And believe it or not, the reload is also really fast, so getting back in the fight will take absolutely no time. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that will say the tier is better than this, but for me the Lockwood is just way better because, well, it has more range, it has more ammo, so it's a bit more versatile, I'll say. But now on to number 1, and here you guys will probably hate me even more, but on the number 1 list we have the crossbow with explosive rounds. This is an MW2 gun and it's absolutely insane. With incendiary rounds this was even better, but they nerfed it, and now explosive rounds might also get nerfed as well because this has insane range and damage. I mean, I ran PAP 1 and epic rarity in tier 3 and I was killing mega bombs in no time. And also only with PAP 1 and purple rarity you can one-shot any zombie in tier 3, so no matter if they have armor or not, they will go down. The loadout I like running, it's on the screen right now, the most important part being the explosive bolts. Other than that you can use whatever you like, but I keep it for ADS because I don't need the range too much. This thing will help you complete any contract, including the Elder Escort, but one thing is not good at, it's against the red worm. Other than that, this will melt anything you throw at it from a really big range also. Like, you can sit on top of a rooftop and just shoot this thing at the mega bomb and it will go down in no time. And I know the ammo count is not that big, but the damage it can do and the range that it has really makes this gun king for me. So these were my top 7 weapons in zombies. If you have anything else to add, please make sure to drop them down below. I definitely check all the comments you guys put down there. Now, I know Season 1 Reloaded comes very soon and might change the meta a bit, but I don't think it will nerf most of the weapons that I showed here today. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Again, make sure to drop a like and a sub for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.